Welcome back. Tonight, senators are gearing up for a critical phase now in the Senate impeachment trial of President Trump. On Friday, lawmakers in the upper chamber will cast their vote on including new witness testimony and documents. It's a pivotal moment that could bring former National Security Advisor John Bolton and former Vice President Joe Biden to the stand. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi now has more.
For 8 hours, House managers and the president's defense team fielded the final questions from senators in the second phase of President Trump's impeachment trial. Democrats using the moment to make a final attempt to sway the upcoming vote on new witness testimony and documents, and arguing that new revelations in former National Security Advisor John Bolton's unpublished book, which reportedly state the president told Bolton he withheld military aid from Ukraine for political purposes, underscores their argument.
Let's take a week to have a fair trial. You can continue your business. We can get the business of the country done. Is that too much to ask in the name of fairness?
But the president's lawyers say that it is the president's right to block witnesses, including Bolton, without the presumption of guilt. Trump's legal team also doubling down on a surprising new defense in which they state it is also within the president's authority to launch investigations into political rivals on behalf of national and personal interests.
Yes, if there was a conduct by a U.S. person overseas that potentially violated the law of that country, but didn't violate the law of this country, but there was a national interest in having some information about that.
House managers immediately trying to shut down that argument.
It's astonishing that on the floor of this body someone would make that argument. What we have seen over the last couple days is a descent into constitutional madness.
The head of the Federal Election Commission has previously stated that accepting foreign assistance in an election is a crime, and the FBI director says if a campaign receives an offer, they should contact his agency.
Now, one of 4 undecided Republican senators had been Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander. Just in tonight, a statement from Senator Alexander saying, quote, "I worked with other senators to make sure that we have the right to ask for more documents and witnesses. But there is no need for more evidence to prove something that has already been proven, and that does not meet the United States Constitution's high bar for an impeachable offense. The Constitution does not give the Senate the power to remove the president from office and ban him from this year's ballot simply for actions that are inappropriate."